Hi everyone, it is Hannah Conda and welcome back to another episode of What's Lost Got to Do With It. I hope you're having a glorious week. I certainly am. I'm very excited about today's episode. I've got another Sydney drag legend and RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under superstar for you all to sink your teeth into their story and get to know them a little bit better. I'm very, very excited. She's a good sister of mine and I can't wait for you to meet her. But as always, we're starting a new episode and it's been a great week, so I don't really have too much to complain about, but I just, in the musings of a 30-year-old gay in the village, or 30-something-year-old gay, I should say, I've stumbled across the idea of respect. It's come up a couple of times this week, and I thought, the idea that just because of someone's stature in the community or someone's age, that respect should be given. And I understand, I think respect is multifaceted and multi-layered, and it got me thinking. It was like, but sometimes people that demand respect haven't earned it. And I definitely feel like we've lost the ability to see that, respect is something that should not always be given, but is definitely something that should be earned. And, I think that goes on who you are as a human being and the way that you interact in society. And, I think fundamentally just being good stand-up member of the community. You don't have to always be nice. I don't think nice necessarily always, nice is good, and I encourage everyone to be nice, but I don't necessarily believe that you should have to be nice to be respected. But I think you can look at someone's behaviors and how they interact with the world and the things that they go and do in whatever space that they're in, and if they treat other people with respect. And I think those are the things that push you up the rank of being respect. And I do believe that sometimes we give respect to people that I don't necessarily always think should have it. They haven't really earned it, and it's an interesting question. Something I ponder a lot is is respect earned, or should we respect? I think there's elements of respect that should be given, sure, for pillars in certain communities and, people that have stuck around and, done good things at times. But, if bad behavior comes into it, then I don't know. These are the musings that I've had, the idea of respect and where it should be given. Just because someone's been in an industry or been, around a community or is an elder doesn't always mean that they should be given that respect, especially if bad behavior is involved. You know what I mean? I don't know. These are the musings of a wise old owl, and I always think about these things. So I think it's always important. And if someone's demanding respect from you, I definitely think you should think about why that is and if it should be given. But anyway, that's enough about that. So now I'm going to bring in another wise old owl. This lovely lady is a superstar, a sensation. Her name is Maxi Shield, and you'll be meeting her right after the break. So we'll be back with Maxi Shield. Oh, welcome back to What's Lost Got to Do With It. And I am so excited to welcome my incredible special guest, a Sydney legend, a RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under founder, pioneer.
OG.
OG. I don't want to give her a big head, but she is the lady with the big tits. Give it up for Maxi Shield!
It starts a bit of a worry when people start going legend, because it just means you're getting older.
Oh, no. Some people have started to call me a legend now, and I'm like,
oh really?
Yeah, do two seasons of Drag Race and you're a legend, apparently.
A legend? I know.
So,
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm not a legend. I like the old girls' legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carol. Mon, they're legends.
Yeah.
They walk the walk. Their knees say legend straight away. Our knees aren't that bad yet.
Our knees are starting to, though.
Another 20 years and then we'll be legend status.
I have to say, Maxine, it's very exciting to have you in the same room because, I often do get confused for you.
Really?
Yeah, I was at a wedding the other day and I was hosting and the guy goes, Maxi, it's so good to see you. And I was like,
yeah, I'm not covered in tattoos. Yeah. She's probably about 3 times the size of me. And her tits are bigger. What's going on? You know what?
See drag.
They just see drag.
Yeah, this is what I say.
They just see drag. Yeah. And that's, some of the straight boys that are interested in drag queens, they just see blonde.
They do. That's it. It doesn't matter what's attached to it.
No, not at all. They just see a beautiful blonde lady.
Infamously, some of our sisters that just wear blonde hair go out there and they dazzle and they take all the men. But you really look at it and you're like, oh, does he know what he's going to wake up to in the morning?
Yes, that is a lights off situation.
Bag on head. Could you imagine some of these girls that take home these hot men?
You know what? I've seen a couple of people and I thought, oh my God, how has that happened? And I thought, oh, no, she hasn't tricked him.
No, he's just into
He
it.
is up for it.
Yeah, like you said, he sees the hair and it's something.
Good on you.
Yeah, like live your life. No,
You can't yuck someone's yum.
No. And
Yeah, but you can go like this a bit.
What is it? Torah said there's a lid for every pot. I don't know if the lid fits, but
Who here's got a whole heap of Tupperware underneath there with no lids at all?
It's just a real scruffy lid trying to squeeze onto it.
A lot of bolognese stains.
Yeah, oil residue, not being washed.
Oh God, we're showing our country roots
I
now,
know.
aren't
We're up
we?
in the Great Murrumbidgee.
Yeah, Great Murrumbidgee.
That's Maxi gave me the story. She came up with my backstory. So I was found next to a VB can in the Great Murrumbidgee.
Yeah, the big Murrumbidgee, that old Hannah Conda. I was doing that Attenborough impersonation when we were on tour, weren't we?
Yeah.
It was the Swan River and it was Perth. But, who cares? Details.
Yeah, no, don't never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
If you sell it enough, they'll believe it.
Well, they do. They believe that some of these people.
Congratulations for winning Best of the World.
Oh, lol. Thank you, Maxi. It's really changed my life. And congratulations on your win again on Survivor.
Survivor
Down Under.
I'd hate to be on Survivor.
Would you?
I'd hate it.
What reality show would you like to do?
Well, see, I'd like to be one of the hosts for Great Australian Bake Off.
Oh, that would be so good. That's right up your noshy.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I could see that for you.
But I don't want to be MasterChef. MasterChef dessert.
Oh, can you cook?
I can cook.
Yeah.
But I can't cook like that.
Yeah, that's like next
That's
level.
hardcore.
But you could do like the celebrity one.
Yeah, but even the celebrity ones are a bit hardcore.
Yeah, but I could see you being hosting of Australia's Great Bake Off.
That'd be great fun,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
That would right up your street.
Why not? We need more drag on TV, don't we?
Don't. This is literally.
I know.
We've
Look
had
at
this conversation.
This hair.
Yeah,
that's my hair.
I pulled my hair out trying to think about.
My eyebrows fell off.
That is one of the travesties of doing RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under. They sell you this stream. And we've spoken about this ad nauseum, but they sell you the dream that this opens up all the doors.
Yeah.
I feel like it's actually bolted shut so many doors that I'm trying to smash down.
Well, I always say to new girls that say, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go on. I say, well, you're an idiot if you don't try.
Yeah, you got to give it a go.
Because it just elevates everything. It presents more doors.
Yeah.
But they're just harder to knock on.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly knocking. And a lot of people are like, well, you've done Drag Race, you've got international notoriety now. So, well, that's all I've got, Del.
Yeah.
Because we still have to pay rent. I've still got, an old dog, David, all that sort of stuff that it just doesn't, and one Drag Race gig a year
does not pay the rent.
Isn't cutting it. No. And then you sort of see places like the UK where, R.I.P. Lily Savage was on TV
all the time.
Decades.
Yeah.
Decades. Yeah. But then also you see people, there's like Miss Korma, who is from Singapore.
Yeah.
Who is, I think she's an Indian drag queen. Hilarious. Yeah. But she used to do the lotto on TV.
Yeah.
In Singapore.
Yeah.
Guys, come on.
I know. And it's crazy that we've been raised in, they celebrate Priscilla. She's 30, it was 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Then they had, problematic as he may be, Dame Edna.
Dame Edna,
was always celebrated. But then now it's it's gone 180 and it's I can't have drag on TV. Courtney's made it through though. She's bashed through those doors as well.
But she has. But the thing with Courtney though is that she looks like a girl.
Yeah,
she is stunning.
Yeah.
And, there's, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, Vanessa Wagner did a lot of stuff on TV.
Yes, and Varushka.
And, Varushka still is quite beautiful.
Yeah.
But Vanessa, full hairy chest.
Yeah, the big eyebrows, just block colours.
Absolute drag queen. And people just accepted her.
Yeah.
I think that, we get into this society where a lot of people are so scared of who to be offended.
Yeah.
Oh, no, my boss is very, very conservative.
Yeah.
You go to those gigs and they're the first one that you're sitting on their lap.
I know.
They grew up with Carlotta. They grew up with Edna. They grew up with all these people.
Yeah.
It's guys, just,
Yeah.
let's just be respectful first.
Yeah.
and then we can get offended later.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's the thing, podcast about loss. I think that's one thing that I think we've really lost is that ability as Australians to, like, we embrace that, and it's gotten too precious. You know, and you think about all the stories all the lay girls tell us.
Oh.
Like, for those that don't know, lay girls was like a fixture in 70s.
I think it was late 50s, 60s, maybe.
Yeah, don't quote us on the dates.
Fact check me. I need someone for Trump.
Yeah,
fact check
we need fact check.
But they were iconic. They were legends.
It was a showgirls show. It was a lot of trans women at the time. I think it was a mandatory
Majority trans, yeah.
because they you know, to go and perform, they had to have their boobs done, didn't they?
Well, a lot of the ones, and there was at one point like the legend that is Carlotta, sort of said, you know, we're having a Christmas topless show, so girls had to go and get their boobs done.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls, some of them quite famously said, well, maybe I wouldn't have transitioned
if that wasn't a requirement.
If that was a requirement.
Yeah.
But some of the stories, I was lucky enough to work with Monique Kelly.
Another legend.
An absolute legend. And she would say stuff like, you know, we would perform, then we'd go out and you'd walk home and you'd be scared of getting bashed.
Yeah, because they were protected. It was like a convent.
Yeah.
That was because I remember doing something with Monique as well, and she was like, you know, they ran us like a convent. Like, we always had to have one piece of male clothing on at all time to avoid being busted by the police. The club was paying off the police, but then they would do raids all the time and then get all the other clients and all the other people that are coming in. It's insane. Yeah.
And there was a famous story that Carlotta says all the time, is that she got picked up and was charged with, you know, wearing a dress.
Yeah.
And she went in front of the judge and said to them, well, how can you charge me? You're wearing a dress and a wig.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you got me there.
Fair, I know. And then, you know, like, it's just insane. Like, honestly, they need to do a TV series on, like, I know they did the Carlotta show.
Yeah.
Like the miniseries, but they could do, like, something real hectic. Because even, like, all the murders that were, like, tied around there, because it was all, like, you know, 70s, 80s, the underground of Sydney.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of dabble in, like, the Underbelly series.
As well as they've got was it the new King of the Cross?
Yeah.
But I've been watching that recently.
Yeah.
I've got all the platforms. Yeah. I can afford it. I was on Drag Race.
She's on all the streaming. Yeah. She's on the streamers.
Which is incredible. You know, it is all, you know, it's made up. It's the essence of what happened.
Yeah.
But just the lack of trans.
Yeah.
There's a couple of trans ladies there, but, you know, in the 80s, there was so many.
So many.
And, like, girls were still pumping.
Yeah, and they had all, like, celebrities, like, what, Frank Sinatra went, like, Liza went, like,
and there's the story that Carlotta taught Shirley Bassey some move or something.
Yeah, and then
it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's wild. That's what kind of, like, I think people struggle with in, like, us going into the mainstream media, is that drag and going to see drag shows or, like, shows like Lay Girls, we were always the place where celebrities and people would go and have, like, let off steam. And then now they're like, oh, you're meant to be at the club, not here with us at the event. And, like, some of them do, like, remember when we went to that Channel 9 thing and they
thought we were working. They kept saying to us, oh, where do we can you tell me where I can put my code?
Yeah. Well, are you doing a show? What are you doing here? Like, we're on your network, dog.
Yeah, I was like, we're on your platform. Yeah. And then I think even, was it Richard Wilkinson was like, oh, and these in the backup dancers. It was like, we've got a show.
Yeah, we're just having fun. We just wanted to dance with Delta Goodrum. Like,
we're on your platform.
Yeah, I know. It fucking blows my mind. I remember one of the first times I saw you sitting in the window at the midnight shift.
Oh, yeah. Desperately to try and keep a job going.
Yeah,
that was Well, because when you came over, I was like, that's it. That bitch is not stealing jobs. Nah. And then I saw you. I said, oh, yeah, she's actually really nice. Do you want a job at Meals on Heels?
Yeah. I love Meals on Heels. So Maxi created Meals on Heels where we would go to different venues around Sydney and we'd serve dinner in drag.
Yeah. Dinner it was just a bit of bullshit.
Yeah.
In that the girls just had fun and dropped some chips down.
Yeah.
And it was another thing because we were going through lockouts and trying to retrain people to come in earlier and create like food moments in venues that didn't have food. So it was sort of one of those things that, hold on, shows are starting to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're starting to get less shows. We're starting to get less budgets.
Yeah.
How can I make something that can employ girls and sustain more jobs earlier?
Yeah.
And keep like the drag going.
Yeah.
And it's still going, actually. I had to relinquish it. It was just got too much.
Yeah.
But it's still operating at Stonewall, I think.
Remember when Woody just comes in? Marilyn Whitrub, another Sydney drag girlfriend.
Personality.
Yeah, personality. Do we call her a legend now? She's been around for long enough.
I think her knees are still fine.
Yeah, but she'd come in and she'd have a wig all skewiff and she'd be putting on this thing with, like, she had her titty bib and
And I'd say to her, you're not allowed to smoke when you're working.
Yeah, but she'd be out there chain smoking before coming in. Oh, your schnitzel's ready, I'll go get it.
Yeah, there you go. And then I said, you're not allowed to smoke. Moody, you're not allowed to smoke. Okay, yeah, no problem. So then I turn up and she's outside. She goes, hi, Maxi, how are you? I said, Moody, you're not allowed to smoke. She said, oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, we've seen some good times.
Yes, Jesus.
Yeah, how long have you been doing drag now? I don't want to ask a lady her age.
27 years.
27 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Of just my job. That is no other job.
Right,
Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah. But you've done it right. You pay your taxes.
Yes. Well, yeah, now I am. Oh, that's the other part of the hair that fell out. You pay your taxes. For God's sake, just pay your taxes. Get a good agent.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, we're trying. Can't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're real trying. You know, as well, you've just done theatre.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the people about the show that we had?
Yes.
Because it was so exciting. It was
actually really
brilliant.
amazing. So it was a part of Shake and Stir Theatre Company in Brisbane. And it was called Tay Tay in the Land of Yas.
Yeah.
Which is nothing to do with Tay Tay.
No, tell us for fear.
Everyone was like, Taylor Swift. I said, no. So Tay Tay Estee was the main character. It was a story written by her sister, Nellie. What happened was when Tay Tay was 5, that she was involved in a car crash with her father. Nellie was actually in the back seat, I think with her brother and auntie. And they lost the father. And Tay Tay became a quadriplegic. So went straight through the windshield. It was basically the story of, an older Tay Tay, I think she was sort of 18 when we picked up the story, of having another operation, but she was going into the operation a bit deflated. And the whole story was to try and find her fire, her heat, her, to carry on, to keep carrying on. There was little bits and pieces that, I was the fairy godmother to help them through their journey, to learn things from the past and, who has there been supportive of her. But small things, I would use chicken salt to and everyone's like, chicken salt, that's ridiculous. But, the real story was that she'd had her jaw wired shut and they used to sneak in KFC.
Oh.
And they used to push KFC behind.
So she could.
And she could suck this chicken salt.
Yeah.
And this chicken salt became such a major thing for her.
Yeah.
That, so it sort of became the magic dust. And, it was really incredible. We worked with this incredible woman named Maya Dove, a quadriplegic as well. Nellie actually played the sister in it. And we actually had Tay Tay in almost every day and night that we did it. An incredible woman. Yeah, but it was just the most incredible. It was one of those things that I've never been so prepared for something in my life in the amount of rehearsals, the amount of preparation we did. And it was great to show that sort of theatre medium how powerful drag can be as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because at one point I would just be rehearsing just with a dress and, blah, 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 go through the motions. And then Helen, who played the mother, she's like, oh, are you coming in full drag? I said, yeah. She goes, oh, I can't wait for that. No problem. And I sort of came in and she was like, whoa.
I know, it just adds an extra element onto it.
She said it went from 100 to 150.
Yeah.
And she said, and you weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
It was just this, whoa.
Yeah, it's the power of just drag. Every time a drag queen walks in, you just, thank God.
But I think that's sometimes lost with a lot of the young kids in that they're coming in going, I want a career. I want what you've got.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's hard. And I always say to the young girls now is that go out, have fun. If you're good enough, work will find you.
Yeah, 100%. That is advice, everyone.
There you go. From the old lady.
From the old lady. Write that down. The work will find you.
The work will find you.
Until you do Drag Race, and then you have to find the work.
The knees.
The knees.
I think it was Mariah Balenciaga. She said that drag is for everyone, but the stage and runway isn't.
Well, this is true.
And
I like that too.
I think a lot of people need to just have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah, because you can. And drag can be something that you do, but it doesn't have to necessarily. Don't feel like you have to make it a career.
Yeah, the social drag queens. Social drag. So many people don't understand the power of social drag.
Yeah, it is magic, and it's like that. It's always what's attracted me about Sydney, because it's very that.
Yeah.
Like, even if we don't all get along, we're all around and we all kind of...
I think as well it's important to understand that you don't have to get along with everyone. But we're professional enough to say, okay, Maxi and Hannah, you're working together.
Yeah.
Rightio, sis.
Cool.
Come on, let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Always.
Vodka. Yeah, rightio.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Yeah,
Water.
what are you drinking? Water. Red Bull. But I think that was, especially with season 1 and season 2 of Drag Race Down Under, is that we can work with anyone.
Yeah.
And I think the story producers found it hard to find issues between each other because we were like,
oh, yeah, we're just...
oh, well, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless the girls was actively, starting stuff, which was more your season than mine. But
fair.
But yeah, a lot of times they said to me, they said, oh, if you can't start saying stuff about girls, you're not going to get a story. I was like, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to teach these young girls? I said, nothing. They're amazing. I'm gonna steal their eyebrows.
Yeah.
They look amazing.
That's the thing I struggle with, because it's like I think inherently my nature is just I get along with most people. I can be...
Oh, there was a couple episodes that you did.
Wow. I can be... Sorry, Beverly. No, but I generally try and function from a place where it's like it's easier just to get along with most people. And when they try and poke you into having fights with people, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Why? What does that? It doesn't serve me. It takes away from who I am. I don't think that's... And you're pretty similar. You do the same thing.
Well, I'm from a big family. So, scream, fine. I'm one of 13 children. But it's a blended family. So
like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. So my mum died when I was 10. And my sister, brother and I were adopted by her sister. So my cousins became my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And my real father had 2 children as well. So it's very, very confusing.
It's very modern.
Oh,
so modern.
We don't talk to each other. It's horrible. Can't have Christmas together. Too many kids.
Yeah. Losing your mum at that early age, like, has that shaped stuff for you as you've gone on?
I think, it's probably made me funny.
Yeah.
Where you've used comedy and to get through stuff. And, just maybe learning to cry.
Yeah.
Because I've just recently lost my little girl dog.
Yeah.
And living with David, who this one, it really hit him hard as well.
Yeah.
But he just, at points, I was just on the street crying. And he's like, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
You let it go. And I was just, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just...
Do you think it gets easier?
Yeah, it does. But on the TV, we've got our scrolling photos of both. Because I also have another little dog, Maxwell, that's 17.
Yeah.
So he's in nappies full time. He's blind. He had a pooey bum today, so that was all hands on deck.
Oh, is that what that smell was?
Yeah, sorry.
Like, they are our babies, especially for gay people. A lot of us don't like kids and don't want kids. But
had too many growing up.
Yeah, but these little babies, like these little fur babies.
When we first lost her, we were sort of sitting there, and next time, so he's like, oh, God, what's going on? I was like... She would have just been sitting on the beanbag.
Oh.
And he's like, oh no. And she would have been doing nothing, but she would have been sitting there.
It's their presence is the most...
I know.
Yeah. The thing that I love about this podcast and chatting to people like yourself is that, like, loss comes in so many different forms in all different facets of our lives. It can be losing a toy, losing keys, or losing whatever, like these things. And they can change a job, an opportunity, whatever. Like, they come in all these different forms, but fundamentally there is a lesson that you learn out of that, or something that you take away from that. And, I like to think that it's like, even if the loss isn't fully, like, accepted, you accept the loss as it is at that time. And you go, okay, this is where we're at. This is what it is. This is the cards we've been dealt.
Yeah.
And we go through. So I like to call this part the acceptance of loss. If you can pass on to people that are listening your experiences, what advice would you give people that are going through these sort of things from your perspective, and see if they can take away stuff from that?
I think that the sooner that you accept where you are at the moment, and I think that's very important, just sometimes we just need to stop and go, okay, I'm here. I can't make anything better. I can't make anything worse. I'm just here. I just need to accept where I am and process that. And sometimes, with social media, with everything just bombarding you, it's so hard to just sort of stop the noise and just really just go, shit, okay, I'm here. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And especially with loss, especially if you're going through things, that are really hard. And let's face it, living in Sydney is horrible.
Yeah.
And, and bills don't come, staggered.
No, they just go, hey, here you go, all of them.
Oh, yeah. So sometimes, I like to do this quite a bit, is that just, every now and again, just sit on the lounge, sit out in the sun, sit, in the park with Maxwell and just go,
breathe.
Right, I'm here. It's no point me thinking about anything else. I'm just thinking about sitting in the sun or, I'm just here. That's just it. I'm just going to turn off, 5-10 minutes and then get back straight into it.
Yeah, and recharge.
Just to recharge.
Yeah.
There's something really quite fabulous about sitting in the park with your shoes off in the grass.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Or in the sand at the beach or in the water or,
And the power of being just out in fresh air, in some sun.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Breathe.
The power of breathing.
Breathe.
But,
and then have a big chocolate cake.
Noshy, yum, yum, yum. But it's been an absolute dream to have you here. I know you don't like the word legend, but I will use it for you. If you called yourself a legend, you'd be up yourself.
Yeah, stuck up.
She is an absolute superstar, and I love you. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me. Your house is amazing.
Oh, look, it's really coming along.
It's really great.
Yeah.
It's Bondi.
I really think like nice neutral walls. It's very industrial, New York industrial.
I love it.
Before you go, let the people know where they can find you on the socials.
On the socials, Maxi Shield on basically everything.
Yeah, Maxi Shield.
Yeah, Instagrams.
Yeah.
You can find me on X.
Yeah. Oh,
no, you can't find me on X.
You got nudes.
Squatting over ham mirror.
Yeah, only hams.
That's great.
That's a good one.
Yes.
We could do only hams. That could be fun.
I wanted to take pictures of my feet, but it's just
there's
gross.
someone out there. There's a really odd lid for every Tupperware.
That's a hexagonal one, isn't it?
But Maxi Shield, thank you so much. I love you to
Hannah
bits. You're a
Conda.
dream. And we'll be back with Healing Hands after this break. Hello, everyone. That was Maxi Shield, an incredible, incredible human being. And I hope you've taken away some beautiful sound advice from Maxi. She should charge for that. Before we wrap up today, it's time for Healing Hands. Healing Hands. I have been again out on the social medias and I've asked people to send in some questions if they need some advice. And I'm here to answer them. First one comes up from David. Should I quit my job? Now, David, I don't know what you do. I don't know what path you're on. I don't know the situations or the circumstances. I would hazard a guess that you're not enjoying your current job. I think that is potentially what could be happening. I would encourage you, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, I think make sure you've got something lined up or you're financially able to support yourself in a break before you quit your job. I don't think just quitting a job on a whim and not knowing where you're going to go next, or you don't even need to know where you're going to go next, or having just the means to support yourself, I think is really important. So don't quit your job out of craziness. Make sure you've got something lined up or know that you can support yourself before you do that. I think that's beneficial. And that goes for everyone. Okay, everyone? Okay, next question I have is from Gingery Greg J. Gingery Greg J says, what's worse, the itching or the burning? I would say the itching, because the itching can lead to more burning. And I feel that scratching skin can sometimes open up like little cuts and whatnot, and then it's more burning. So I think the itching is worse. That is the most, take all this out of context, and it's the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing, talking about itching or burning, absolutely wild. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, we've got time for one more before we go. Okay, here's something scandalous. Do I break up with my boyfriend? Yeah, don't make sure we don't put the name in there. Do I break up with my boyfriend? I think this is... Okay, I'm going to provide general advice here. If you're in a relationship, this is for everybody that is in a relationship or is having trouble with a partner or whatever. I'm no expert, but I am a healer. And I think the first thing you need to do is you need to do an assessment of where your relationship is. What's bringing you joy? Is it bringing you happiness? Like, is there untoward behavior happening towards each other? Are you doing untoward behavior because you're unhappy? You got to take into account all these things. But fundamentally, the thing that I want to encourage everybody is if there is a level of unhappiness that can't be worked through communication, because communication is literally the central part of any good relationship. You need to make sure that you are talking, that you are going through these things together. Talking about your problems is so important because your partner is not a mind reader. Although you think they might be, they don't always know what's going on. So you need to be able to communicate those things. And if these things can't be solved with basic sort of communication and talking through and maybe some hard work and some hard conversations, if you don't think it could be salvageable, I would say that maybe the relationship is not serving you, therefore you should get out. Do it respectfully, because I don't believe in burning any bridges, because maybe one day you could come back together in different parts of your lives and then maybe you could, rekindle something. But also fundamentally, you don't want to have negativity surrounding you, especially if you're going to be ending a relationship, which is hard as it is. Having animosity and anger and whatnot is stuff that we don't really need a lot of. I don't know, it's sometimes unavoidable. But yeah, I would say that if the relationship is not salvageable, if things are happening that are just hurting you and making you sad and not making you be the person and the best version of you that you can be, time to go. And I think, don't waste time on it. There's no point in trying to stick through something if it's not serving you. I think it's for a lot of things. I think you could even say that for the job thing. If it's not serving you and it's not providing you happiness or joy, get out. Time to go. Have a break. Move on and take some time for yourself. So that is where I'm going to leave it. Make sure you take some time for yourself. Remember what Maxi said, breathe and be kind to yourself, be kind to the people around you, and just remember to be a good person and pay your taxes. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me on another episode of What's Lost Got to Do With It. I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. So look after yourself, stay fabulous. And my name's Hannah Conda, and I'll see you soon. Bye!